Tonight, official swearing in of the 18th Niue Legislative Assembly. Cabinet ministers and MAM sworn in today. Haircutting and ear-piercing ceremony tops the Niue charts with $160,000. Good evening, I'm Sarai Mangawa and this is your BCN News. Leading our news tonight, in a first ever Premier Dalton Tangilagi has created a gender-balanced cabinet retaining Minister Tatui and Minister Ainu and the new Minister Sonia Talangi. At a special swearing ceremony this afternoon, the Speaker Hema Douglas administered the oath for the three ministers and acknowledged the four members assisting the ministers. Here's Esther Pavihi with more.
Today, Premier Dalton Tangilagi announced his cabinet this afternoon, and for the first time ever, there are two female ministers in cabinet. Premier Dalton Tangilagi has retained his ministers Crosley Tatui and Esamona Ainu, and has appointed Common Role member and newcomer to the Whanokepule, Sonia Talangi, to his cabinet. A ceremony was held this afternoon inside the Whanokepule chambers, where the Speaker Hema Douglas administered the oath for the three ministers and acknowledged the four members assisting each of the ministers. Premier Tangilagi holds the largest number of portfolios and will be assisted by Common Role member and member assisting the minister Sinehemana Heko. Premier Tangilangi's portfolios include central agencies, the Office of the Secretary to Government, External Affairs, Regional and International Relations, National Security, Crown Law, Police, and also commercial entities such as Telecom Niue, BCN, Bulk Fuel, Niue Tourism, the Niue Philatelic and Numismatic, and also Bond Store. Premier Tangilagi is also the Minister for Climate Change, Niue Superannuation, and Niue Kokaina. He will be assisted by MAM Sinehemana Heko. Minister Crosley Tatui retains his portfolios as the Minister for Infrastructure, which includes the Department of Utilities, Department of Transport, Civil and Quarry, Niue Power, Water Authority, Fire and Rescue, and the Niue Public Service Commission and Public Sector Reforms. Minister Tatui also retains the Finance portfolio. He's the Minister of Finance, Tax and Customs, Trade and Economic Development, Immigration, Statistics, and the Private Sector. Minister Tatui will be assisted by the member assisting the Minister, Riki Muyaki Makani. Minister Esamona Ainu retains the portfolio for Natural Resources, responsible for the Department of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries, Met Services, and the Environment. Minister Ainu will be assisted by Member Assisting Minister or MAM Emani Whakausimanawa. New Minister Sonia Talangi will be responsible for the Ministry of Social Services, with Justice, Lands and Surveys and Community Services, Taonga Niue, Health and Education. Minister Talangi is also responsible for the 50th Constitution commemorations and the Sports Development portfolio. Minister Talangi will be assisted by Ma'am Florence Maureen Milekitama.
The opening of the 18th Legislative Assembly on Monday this week was a special occasion witnessed by families and friends of the members of the Whanokepule as they swore an oath of allegiance as MPs for the 18th Niue Legislative Assembly. We take a look at how the meeting went on Monday. The 20 representatives voted in unopposed Speaker Hema Douglas to resume his role as the Speaker of the 18th Assembly. The 20 members were sworn into their roles and proceeded to vote for the Premier. Two names were nominated, Member for Alofi South and Interim Premier Dalton Tangilagi and Common Role Member Olaf Doveve Jacobson. The votes counted 16 for Tangilagi and 4 members voted for Jacobson. This is part of Honourable Jacobson's concession speech.
There are many things that we need to do. Now that the government is formed, my attitude is that you will be supported by me and the others who will follow me. We will support that which is good, but that which does not comply with the laws, the rules of the Niue Assembly, we will say something about that. Be rest assured that we will keep an eye on you and your team, and that don't think it's going to be an easy 3 years.
The day was also a time to reflect on the history of the Whanokepule. When concluding the ceremony on Monday, Speaker Hema Douglas paid tribute to leaders and members of yesterday's years for their valuable efforts in building the foundation for the Niue that we live in today.
Sometimes we tend to forget that we are here because of all those old folks that came before us. So I thought, okay, I didn't quite realize just how emotional that was going to be, because I took it right back. Fortunately, I can remember the old folks from the days of the Island Council.
The swearing-in ceremony was an emotional time for many, especially for the new members. The 18th Assembly is historical in that for the very first time, Niue has met the United Nations target set decades ago in 1995 to promote the representation of women in parliaments to a minimum of 30%. On Monday this week, Niue formalized this by the swearing-in of the 6 women representatives, including Sonia Talangi, daughter of the late Premier Sir Toke Talangi.
Evidently quite emotional, still a bit emotional now, as you can see, but a lot of mixed emotions, including pride and the privilege. It's so humbling to have been selected by the people, and I look forward to serving the people of Niue and working with all of the members to achieve a prosperous Niue.
BCN News also spoke to lawyer Sinahemana Hekau, the first woman lawyer to be elected into the Whanokepule. Hekau, whose parents were both former members, told BCN News that she looks forward to the work ahead and she would like to spend time on legal awareness and to work on reviewing the outdated laws of the country.
But I am very happy that my village has chosen me, a young woman, of the first to represent the village of Lakepa. It's not to say that I can't do the job or they're putting me on a judgment block, but I am ready to take on this job, and I'm ready to take Lakepa forward and Niue forward.
Randa Siakiato Mailonga is the youngest member of the Whanokepule at 34 years old and is the first female representative for the village of Lakepa. BCN News asked her after the ceremony what was going through her mind when she took her oath.
But I am very happy that my village has chosen me, a young woman, of the first to represent the village of Lakepa. It's not to say that I can't do the job or they're putting me on a judgment block, but I am ready to take on this job, and I'm ready to take Lakepa forward and Niue forward.
As one of the new members of Parliament for the Common Role and also the son of former Premier Frank Fukosimanavului, who has passed, Voimani Fukosimanavului taking the oath reminded him of the responsibility that comes with the role of an Ekepule and what this meant for him.
I guess the excitement of taking the oath, understanding the importance of it and the value, and so many others have done this before me, and just looking to get in and getting stuck in with business. Just happy with it and appreciating the people that have put my name into this as well as voted for me, the support that my family has given me, friends and family.
Young woman Sally Beth Sionetama from the village of Tuapa Uhomotu has been chosen as one of the 5 female youth athletes aged between 15 to 18 years who will be going to the United States on a sports scholarship program in June of this year. Here's more on this story. Sally, along with her fellow participants, 3 from New Zealand and 1 from the Cook Islands, are being funded by the U.S. Department of State and the U.S. Embassy New Zealand for the 2023 Sports Visitor Program, which will take place in New Jersey, United States. The program will take place over a period of 2 weeks, starting on the 21st of June to the 5th of July this year. It would include a football camp, workshops and meetings, sessions on communication, public speaking, team building, as well as various cultural and sporting events. An informal assembly meeting was held at Niue High School yesterday morning to officially announce Sally Beth Sionetama as one of the selected participants for the Sports Visitor Program. Although she was not selected, Vian Motufuo was also a successful applicant from Niue High School. Niue Football Association Committee, including Jamal Talangi Vedreaki, Jare Ringamoto, and Tom Jr. Misikau, were present for the announcement at the assembly this morning.
On behalf of the Niue Football Association, we would like to extend our thanks to especially Jack and his team for the ongoing support and our events in the past 2 years. And these types of opportunities has come up, and we would like to encourage our students to take part and to build your skills or your capacity, and also to explore outside of Niue these opportunities.
Niue High School Deputy Principal Mrs. Moira Jackson also expressed her gratitude to the Niue Football Association for giving the students such opportunities to take part in.
Lots of fantastic and awesome opportunities out there. Okay, please, if they are notified to you, take it up, apply, okay, because you never know if this chance will ever come by again. Okay?
The theme of the program, empowering young women, girls and future leaders through sports, is an important aspect of the program that has been emphasized. The U.S. mission to New Zealand has partnered with the New Zealand Football, Cook Island Sports and National Olympic Committee, the Niue Football Association and the Julie Foudy and ESPNW Sports Leadership Academy for this program. While the Niue Hannon International Airport upgrade project is still in the works, project manager Craig Smart is reminding members of the public to be aware of some of the work they are undergoing. The quarry has recommenced their aggregate production, says Mr. Smart, and he is cautioning road users to be mindful of their heavy trucks that will be carting the aggregate down from the quarry at Tafalalo to the Downer compound at Hui Hui. Road users should exercise caution and not pass the trucks when they are on the road, especially on Tapio Hill, says Mr. Smart. At the end of this month, on Sunday 28th of May, a barge is expected to arrive on the island to bring the asphalt plant and runway paving equipment directly from New Zealand. Some of the local crew have been re-employed for Downer last year, and further positions for truck drivers and in the asphalt laying crew are available from late June, says Mr. Smart. Anyone interested in working on the project is encouraged to visit their office at Hui Hui. If there are any concerns towards the project or you would like to know more information on the project, feel free to contact Downer at their office in Hui Hui as well. An earthquake was felt across the island yesterday morning. According to the Niue Meteorological Service, the earthquake occurred at 5:02 a.m. earlier yesterday morning. The magnitude of the quake was 7.4 with a depth of 213 kilometers. The location of the earthquake was Tonga-based, and based on all available data they had, there was no tsunami threat because the earthquake was located too deep inside the earth. And a fun sports day for the Early Childhood Education ECE children and the preschoolers was held yesterday at the village green of Avasele, Oneonepata. Friends, families, parents and caregivers were seen supporting their children throughout the day, which also saw the support towards Autism Day. Here's more on this story. The theme for the day was Battler, Become a Battler by joining the fight against invasive species. Some of the events included short distance races, relay races, sack racing and bicycle racing. It was a fun day for the children who participated and the families who supported. It was also an important event which celebrated Autism Day. The event was sponsored by the Environment Department with funding from the United Nations Environment Programme, Global Environment Fund, Niue Government, SPREP and others. The traditional Niue ceremony of the cutting of the boys' hairs and the piercing of the girls' earlobes has been kept alive for generations, but it has also raised some very large sums of money for the family. Over the weekend, the record for the largest hair cutting and ear piercing ceremony was set at $160,000 for the families of Robert B.J. Riggs and Vanessa Marsh of Alofi South. Here's more on this story. For the family, the work starts at least a year in advance with the farming of the pigs and the growing of the taro plantations. The cost to put on such an event is substantial, but the rewards are just as large. 2 years ago, the family of Shiot and Pao Palahetongia of Lakapa surpassed the $100,000 mark. They received $110,000, and a few months later, another family from Lakapa increased that to $113,000. Last year, the family of Sonia Talangi and Boy Kapanga received $145,000 for their girls' ear piercing. Last Saturday, the highest amount of money recorded for a local haircutting and ear-piercing ceremony is now set at $160,000. Considering the increasing cost of goods, hosting such large events will take on concerted community effort. And that is our news bulletin for tonight. I'm Soraya Mangawa. Have a good weekend.